Hi, this is Kevin, and I'm back with the tutorial for exercise 2. And in this tutorial, we're going to print a list of city names. Okay, and we're going to design this on the basis of um, um, we're going to design this on the basis of this input process output pattern. We're really trying to emphasize this in the current chapter. And um, are we going to prompt the user for a list of cities? Now, in this case, we're going to simulate that. Okay. Why? Well, we're not really trying to emphasize uh, um, that we can prompt the user for everything. We know we can prompt the user when we want, but we're trying to really concentrate on another part of the program, uh, the way we're going to print the list of cities. So we're just going to define a list as a kind of a proxy, as a kind of stand-in for having prompted the user and got a bunch of character strings. Okay. Okay, now what are the cities that we're going to use? Well, it turns out that my list is Denver, Moline, Dodge City, Portland, Albany, and Champaign. And I change these from time to time, but those are the ones I'm using now. Okay, what are we going to call the program? Well, we're going to call the program City List Printer. Okay, so let's go up to the project name, right click, click new, Python file. Okay, city list printer. Okay, node.py, enter. There it is. Okay, and here's our new practice. We're going to put a doc string up front. So 3 double quotes, 1, 2, 3, and it gave us the other. And then we need a sentence that says what our program's going to do. And I'm just going to say print a list of city names. It's that easy, period. So doc strings should have a proper sentence. Okay, so begin with a capital, have all the proper parts of the sentence, end with the period. Okay, so that's that. And we're not doing any of that old stuff. Okay, that looks good. Now we have to design the code. All right, so I'm going to show you my pseudocode for this. It's going to be based on the input process output approach. As usual, you might want to pause here and think about what your design would be. Okay? Okay, now here's my design. So here's my pseudocode for City List Printer. And again, you can never go wrong if you don't have another kind of pattern in mind, a design pattern. If you don't have another one in mind, start with input process output, because every program, it has some input. Okay, it does some process. It has some output. Sometimes these parts are empty. Okay, so let's look. I organize this: input, process, output. Input. Here's my pseudocode. Define a list of strings to simulate a series of user inputs. Okay, so we know we're going to have a list of strings. Okay, and it's going to have the city names in it. Okay, do we need to process it? No, we don't really. So this is sort of an empty part of the design. Still, the overall pattern's helpful, okay, because it's a checklist. And then on the output side, I just put something pretty close to the Python. For city and cities, print city. Now the print doesn't have the parens and all that kind of stuff, but the for city and cities has what we need. Okay, so I think we're ready to put the code in. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to need a main. Okay, we want to do this the standard way, right? Def main, colon. I'm going to put the pass in so it's not going to bug me. 2 blank lines and a call to main, and then a carriage return to get an empty line. Okay, that looks good. So let's look at the pseudocode again. Okay, define a list of strings to simulate a series of user inputs. And that's what we're really doing with this list. Okay, so when I have a list of things, I usually give it a plural name. Okay, so I'm going to call this one cities. Okay, and I'm going to assign it the value. And the way that we define a list, we're going to learn a lot more about lists when we get to chapter 5, but we're taking a peek ahead here. List initializers go into square brackets, and lists can hold really any value type. And a list can hold all the same type of homogeneous list, like all strings or all ints and all floats when we get there, or a mixture. Okay. Now, the kind of use case that we have here, we're typically going to have all the same type. So these are all strings that are city names, right? Okay, so I'm going to take over the rest of this line of code, and I'm going to copy it from my already baked version. Okay, and there we go. So those are, it's as though we got the user to give us all these. Okay, why did we do it? Well, we're not really concentrating on that part of the program. All right, and now what's the next thing that we want to do? Well, the next thing is there's no processing, so we're just going to skip past that. And then the output is for cities and cities, print city, so I'm going to do that. Now, I didn't say, but I should have, that there should be a heading for this kind of report that we're going to get. And it's going to say selected cities. So here's the code that I'm bringing over. Okay. Again, I've run out of blank lines, so let me get my 2 blank lines in between this. Okay, so I leave a blank line here to say this stuff is different from the stuff above. Okay, this line is the simulated input. These lines create the output. Okay, do I need a comment that says that? I'm going to tell you no. Okay, when you're programming for a while, you'll look at this and you go, oh, here's where we're simulating the input. Oh, here's where we create the output. So the thing is that programmers who program every day don't need comments to tell them that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to print sort of heading, selected cities. And then we're going to print a blank line. And then for city and cities, we're going to print cities. So this version of the for loop is called iteration. And it what happens is it visits each item in the list. And as it goes through, it changes the value of this city index variable to take on the value. So the first time through the loop, it's equal to Denver. Then the next time, it's Moline. Then the last time, it's Champaign. It's very convenient. You don't have to worry about how long the list is. You don't have to worry about, you know, pointing the things with index expressions or anything like that. You just say for city and cities, and it prints out exactly the number that are there. Okay, so let's give this one a test. And here we go. Now, something I haven't probably shown you yet is a lot of the times you can't see enough code in the window that you're in. Okay, so you can go to kind of the top bar of the window that you're in and double click it, and it'll go full screen. So here we can see selected cities, a blank line like we wanted, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 city names. That's just what we wanted. So that's just the output that we were expecting. Okay, and then we double click on that bar again, this bar here, and it goes back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, so pretty simple. Again, you're going to do something similar. It's not a list of cities, but it's the same kind of idea. So good luck with that, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.